meeting of the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada. Ms. Maynard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Your first order of business is to approve the agenda. However, before you do that, we are going to pull agenda item 14 until further notice. So
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor to approve the agenda with item number 14 stricken. Motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is to receive the general manager's report. With Tina unavailable today, I'm stepping in to provide you with our general manager's report. But before we get started, Mark Trostel's got some good news to share.
Yesterday, we had a bond sale to advance refund $121 million of our motor vehicle fuel tax bonds. The result of the advance refunding bond sale is interest savings of $17.3 million over the next 7 years. We can now expand the motor vehicle fuel tax streets and highways program by over $2 million a year for the next 7 years.
It's fantastic news. And Mark, did I see that the top two bids were almost identical?
They were within 1/10,000th of a percent. Yeah.
Indicative, competitive market. It's great. Good news, and thank you for your work on that.
We call Mark Show Me the Money Trostel. All right, Mr. Chairman, the next item is the first time actually is to recognize one of the operators from MV Transportation. Milton Rivas has been with MV since the beginning and has been a driver for the RTC since 2008. Mr. Rivas served as a revenue service instructor before climbing the ranks to a behind-the-wheel instructor, where he trains new employees and conducts refresher training courses for experienced drivers in all types of MV fleet vehicles. His students appreciate and respect his calm and pleasant demeanor. MV says that Mr. Rivas is very team-oriented, will do whatever is needed to help the team succeed, and is always willing to go the extra mile. Please join me in recognizing Milton Rivas.
Please.
Oh, I would like to thank MV Transportation, all the managers, support staff, everybody that nominated me for this recognition. I really appreciate it. I'm thankful. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Next, we'd like to recognize one of the excellent operators from Keolis. Mr. Danilo Ramos has been a professional driver in Las Vegas since July 2000 and has received numerous commendations for his excellent customer service and mentoring as a revenue instructor. Mr. Ramos has trained numerous Keolis operators in the safe operation of a diverse fleet of vehicles. Mr. Ramos has had 0 accidents in more than 15 years of service and also boasts an on-time performance rating of over 95%. He sets a tremendous example of professionalism to his trainees and peers. Please join me in recognizing Danilo Ramos.
Thank you for being here. Originally, I'm from Philippines, and I used to live in Hawaii for 19 years, driving a coach in Hawaii, and 16 years experience in Las Vegas Boulevard. And I wanted to thank my manager, she's a pillar to bring me to the training department. Thank you very much.
And now I'd like to call attention to one of our very own at the RTC. Mr. Walter Vadrazka, a project engineer from our FAST division, was recognized at the UNLV Alumni Awards in May as the Howard R. Hughes College of Engineering Alumnus of the Year. He graduated in 1995 and serves as a practitioner advisor to the UNLV student chapter of the American Society of Civil Engineers, or ASCE. But this isn't the first time Walt's been recognized. In 2015, he was honored with the Private Sector Engineer of the Year distinction by the ASCE Southern Nevada chapter. Congratulations, Walt. We're lucky to have you. Come on down, have your picture taken. All right.
I'd just like to thank the RTC and FAST for allowing me to keep working with the students at UNLV. I've said it many times, it's a fun way to give back to the community. And I'd like to thank Pat Smith and the Alumni Association for keeping this program going. Thank you.
And while we're on the subject of distinctions, the League of American Bicyclists recently bestowed the RTC with a gold-level Bicycle-Friendly Business Award. This is the only recognition to any organization in Southern Nevada. We have our bike guy, Ron Floth, to thank for this. Ron's leadership in the cycling community is extraordinary. Ron, come on down. There you go. Great job, Ron.
Take a picture. Pictures first.
One more.
Well, thank you very much. This is a great award. I'd like to really thank the leadership at RTC for this. Tina, Fred, Dave, MJ, all the folks at RTC that really value cycling here in the Valley. A lot of people don't know, but the RTC was the first bicycle-friendly business designated a few years ago, and now we are the first gold business in Nevada, all of Nevada. So this is a really great designation for the RTC. Again, RTC promotes cycling. We carry 50,000 bikes a month. We really value the folks being able to use their bicycles to get to and from the bus. We're also launching the first bike share system downtown at the end of August. We're really excited about that. So it's just great to be part of such a great organization that really values cycling here in Southern Nevada. Thank you very much.
Okay. In an effort to recognize the importance of transportation infrastructure on creating jobs, improving safety, and reducing congestion, the RTC recently celebrated National Infrastructure Week from May 16th through the 23rd. We worked with our partners at NDOT, the local jurisdictions, chambers of commerce, and the construction industry to produce the following spot for social media, web, and PSAs.
It's National Infrastructure Week, Southern Nevada.
Widening a volunteer boulevard will relieve congestion and improve commute times for thousands of residents who call Inspirada home.
Additional pedestrian crossings along Sahara Avenue are improving safety for you, me, and the ones we love.
Transportation projects are providing good paying jobs for people like me all over our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for investing in our roads and building a stronger Southern Nevada.
We also worked with NDOT on a traffic signal groundbreaking event and appreciation day to recognize those in the field working on critical transportation projects. As a result of these activities, we received great coverage from the media, including interviews, news stories, and numerous social media posts and tweets. And we saw a spike in visitor volume on our Seen Orange website that week with nearly 500 visitors in just one day. I'd like to share with you a brief video recap of the week's activities.
We are here to celebrate a little over $2 million in traffic signal and safety mobility upgrades to State Route 160 or Blue Diamond Road right behind you.
What a thrill it is to know that we're making investments in our community and in our infrastructure to connect communities. The light here at Fort Apache, as well as the light that's going to go in at El Capitan as well, are going to help alleviate the dangers of crossing Blue Diamond Road.
Infrastructure matters to us all the time, but it's really critical when we have Infrastructure Week now to highlight how much it really means to us. As I stated before, if you leave the house, you're using infrastructure. You're using a sidewalk, you're using a bike path, you're using a trail, all these things along with the standard roadways and bridges. These are infrastructures.
So it is National Infrastructure Week. This is the week where, as a nation as a whole, we take a reflection on the importance of infrastructure as a part of our lives. You know, infrastructure is roads, dams, bridges. It's how we get water. It's how our sewer departs us. It really is the key ingredient to a healthy community. But we're out here today to recognize those who are responsible for maintaining our infrastructure. These construction workers that give their lives to maintaining our infrastructure and making it so that we do have a certain quality of life in whatever community that we're living in.
Nice. Yeah. Tina did a great job. Yeah. Okay, the next item, Greg Gilbert, our General Counsel, will provide you with an update on this next item.
Thank you. So this item is a rather straightforward item. RTC has received a pilot program proposal from the Big Bus Company. The reason I'm bringing this to your attention today is just simply to make sure you understand what we're doing. The pilot program is currently being analyzed by RTC staff to understand the appropriateness and the details concerning the sharing of very specific bus stops within the valley. RTC staff is going to work with Big Bus to understand the pros, the cons, the impediments, the upsides and downsides, and then later next month actually have a presentation on the agenda as it relates to the proposal itself for your review and ultimately for your approval if that's appropriate. With regard to the timing of the pilot program that's been proposed, it's a 6-month proposal for that pilot program. There's a proposal that it start and that it does in fact stop on a particular date. I just want to make it clear that RTC staff is really going to look into the details of how that pilot would actually work in reality and how service would or would not be impacted by such a sharing of particular and specific bus stops. I have one other item, but I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Greg. So your staff will analyze this, whether we have not decided to do a pilot at this point. You're analyzing what the request was that they brought in. I don't even know why we're here again having this conversation. I have not changed my position. No place else, I don't think, or try to recall, really shares bus stops. I don't think it does anything to the public, for the public. It'll add to congestion in my mind. So I don't know why Big Bus keeps bringing this back. But apparently you're going to analyze it, you'll bring it back to us, and then we'll make a decision. But I'm sorry, but it does not belong in our public bus turnouts to share that space. There's no benefit that comes to the general public, and in fact, it's going to make it worse, in my opinion. So, and then let's work on those mobile billboards still, pictured there.
Okay, duly noted, and just to emphasize that, no decision is being made to proceed with the pilot program here today, so you'll be fully briefed and have the opportunity to really have a thorough debate on it at the next board meeting. I do have one other item that I probably would rather hit now. It falls into the category of I was at a Clark County commissioner meeting, for lack of a better way of putting it, which some of you were here as well. During the Clark County Commission meeting on Tuesday, there was a request made by Commissioner Sisolak and others to essentially have a working group or an oversight group, or there was some struggle about what to actually title the group, but essentially to convene a group of three entities or representatives, one from the RTC, which is Dr. Ohini, one from Clark County, which was, I think, designated as Randy Tarr, and then a third, which was the Resort Corridor representative, Virginia Valentine. The idea behind this was that those three individuals would collaborate and communicate with one another as it relates to two specific improvements, one being an improvement that currently is going through an RFP process, which is the elevated express route to the airport, that particular project, and then the other, which is the RTC's due diligence and feasibility study as it relates to the next phase of light rail, if that is in fact appropriate. And so I'm bringing this to your attention because next session we intend to put something on the agenda so that it can be a little more fully vetted, but you'll have an opportunity to think about whether or not such a collaboration of that kind is appropriate. I think the way it was framed in front of the county was essentially to have that group get together and make sure that there's a free flow of information, that all interests are being represented, and that those two projects in particular are fully vetted and understood by the stakeholders that would have a say and an impact or concerns about it. Happy to answer any questions.
Mayor Lee?
Hey, I generally oppose that. I think the RTC board should be more involved in that, or I don't understand why some of the cities aren't involved with that. We've got a lot of people that come here, they go down to the city of Las Vegas, they're gonna be coming to Apex. Why is it generally accepted that those three make the decision for the whole region?
I think hence the reason for me bringing it up to you today. I think from what I heard at the Clark County board meeting is that the focus would be on the elevated structure, and then the initial focus would be on this the light rail feasibility study connecting the airport to the resort corridor. But I did not get the impression that it was exclusive. I think the point that commissioners were making yesterday is that that type of group should be coming together quickly so that they can be involved in the due diligence on either or both of those projects. But I think that's the point. You've made a good point, and we'll of course make sure that it's not intended to be an exclusive group to the detriment of any cities.
I think the bigger question is, why isn't the RTC, what does this board do if all it just sits back and looks at tentative budgets and watches charts? It doesn't make sense to me. We've got over 1 million people that live in the cities that aren't even on this board, and I see gaming has its place, but these are residents that have friends coming here. This isn't just all about the Strip. This is a lot about all of us. And I question the value of this committee if we keep parsing off that stuff to other people and it comes back to us and we just rubber stamp it. We never get in the conversation of it. So I just like to express that a county commissioner should be on it. I think a city council person should be on it. This is a huge regional question. I wouldn't care if the chair was on it, or Christie or whoever they choose. But it just seems like all these big decisions always seem to be swept off to somewhere else. And this board is just a ceremonial board. I value what we do here. I recognize North Las Vegas benefits, but in the master planning and the visioning of what's going on in this region, there's big things happening in all our cities, and I oppose that those three people coming back with that decision without more input from some people on this board.
I think I duly noted, and I think the purpose of bringing it up today is to have this type of discussion. I did not walk away with the impression that the creation of those three individuals as a group would usurp any of the jurisdictional authority that the RTC has over their projects. But I think you make very important points, and over the next few days prior to the next agenda, we'll make sure that those are
Right, now,
addressed.
let me recognize one thing. I understand the county has a right to build roads in their community, and I do too. I don't have to ask the county where I build roads, and they don't have to ask me where they want to build roads. I recognize, the authority of the local governments, but this is a big regional, light rail, elevator rail. This is a big issue for the whole region. And I guess, Mr. Chairman, I don't have a real motion on anything. It's just that I think this is something that needs to be looked at and have some city involvement in it, whether it's my city or it doesn't matter to me, or some city involvement in this. Some of the city of Las Vegas, maybe, us if it seems reasonable. I don't know how far Henderson wants to be involved in this, but anyway, that's my take on this, that this is a big regional question, but I do understand it's within an entity that has an authority to do things too. That's all I have to say.
Commissioner G.
Thank you for bringing that up, Mayor. Several of us were surprised about where that went the other day, very truthfully. I have a little bit more comfort level because RTC is on it, and because it was narrowly focused. It's not looking at any other programs or plans that we have. It's the criticism that was made of the county moving forward with a potential elevated expressway. So I think the intent now is to say, let's do our due diligence with some oversight to make sure that we're really crunching the numbers correctly to see whether that's really a feasible methodology. And then, in addition to that, to look at the light rail component, because, and I know I said this at the first meeting when staff presented the elevated, let's make sure whatever we do in design with any of our roads that we're anticipating other modalities so that we don't tear things up and put them back in again. So part of that is for them to look engineering wise, what works and what makes good sense. I had a feeling that we'd get into, well, this one's not on that committee or that one's not on that committee, but because it was so narrow to the county elevated expressway, and then the issue of light rail. The chairman also brought up the issue of monorail, and I don't know if Curtis is here, but they're a private company. They make their own private decision on whether or not where they go or where they don't go. We don't fund them. RTC doesn't fund them. County took $9 million, I think, Larry, was it, out of their tear down budget that they were required when they were first set up as franchisees to let them go to bond for the Mandalay station. They have to pay that all back with interest. So there is no subsidy, but they will make a decision as a private company on where they need to go and what pencils out. And as they said at the meeting, it was Mandalay, it was the Venetian kind of area over there, and they still on their list. Over my dead body, will the monorail go to the airport? But something should, and they need to take a look at that part of it. So I don't want to usurp any of the towns. It really started out because of the elevation of the project that was being built within the county.
And I do appreciate that, and I know you worked very hard on this. I don't know where I sit on I like the monorail system. I don't know if there's money at 3 different locations that could all be put together and make a better system. I don't understand that yet. But I do know that I'm on the OBCBA board, and I actually think somebody from that board should be paying attention. It's either the gaming and then the electeds. There's just other things. This is a big decision. And if we do find the right thing, I want the whole region to get behind it, not just, well, this is what the county's doing. They're shoving it down our throats like you read in the paper. I don't think they want that attitude. I think they want it. As a region, we want to come together, make decisions for future electeds that'll benefit from some of the master planning and the big thinking that's going on at this point in time in southern Nevada. So I think we should look at putting some more people on that board that can bring in some other views, long-range planning kind of views, so that we can go back and say, 25 years from now, I won't be here, but you should expect this. This was what the vision of the past was, that this is what the community would look like. So I just think you're telling us that something's happening. I'm just telling you, I don't think it's appropriate that certain people aren't involved, more people involved on it.
Thank you.
Ben. I just wanted to make sure I was understanding correctly. You had said that it would come back to RTC, so we would still have the involvement there. But what you're saying, as I understand, is you want a more diverse group seeing it at its very beginnings, before it's all put together. Because once it's put together, it's hard to see all the nuances as you're building it up. And if the diversity is there as you're building it up, you think it would be more fair to all of the different government entities. Thank you. Just wanted to clarify.
Other comments? I'll jump in. I think part of the reason the Board of County Commissioners took their action, and it was direction more so, was if we, and this board is well aware of it, if we just trace back the last 90 days in regards to the elevated expressway project and light rail projects that were called out in the TIBP, there have been a diverse set of opinions, a lot of misinformation out about both projects, and both being critically important. The discussion at the BCC 2 days ago dealt on trying to start getting people back to factual information and trying to get a better understanding that these two major projects are going into the analysis stage. There's no predetermination. Don Burnett, the county manager, has said if the elevated expressway is fully vetted and it comes back and says it's not only cost efficient, but it's not going to increase efficiency or eliminate congestion, then the county doesn't move forward that project. But the direction, in his words, were to do something differently. The county certainly would go out to bid, or as we are right now, looking for a firm to come in and do that overview and total analysis and study of the project. But to move away from everybody perceiving this as county public works project, he suggested that a designee from the RTC and a designee from the resort corridor be on an oversight committee. We're not creating a board that's going to make decisions. We're creating someone other than the county to have eyes and ears involved in the process, to then communicate back to the RTC board. A representative of the gaming can report to their stakeholder group, because that specific project is impacting the county, the RTC, and the gamers, along with businesses and citizens, which is just the normal course of outreach. They gave direction, the Board of County Commissioners gave direction to Don Burnett to pursue that. It may work. We don't know. It's just an approach to do things differently. It was asked of Mr. Gilbert, and he was put on the spot on Tuesday, to bring that concept to the RTC board. Certainly can't do anything today, but to put it on an agenda for next month to see if the RTC, which is the agency that will drive the study of light rail, no one's questioning that, but to see if something different in the oversight or communication of that study would be evaluated. And that is, I'm not even sure how we're going to frame it, because I don't even think the Board of County Commissioners has formatted exactly what this 3-member oversight group would be. But two things that came out of it that are very positive. One is that it should be recognized that these two super projects are not incompatible. They could very well be compatible, and at the other extreme, neither one could be cost-effective, affordable, and everything else. So the important thing is no one's making a predetermination of one's good, one's bad. It's not either or. And the second piece, and this is probably an important piece of this, not only TIBP, but what this board does, is projects should not be perceived. The elevated expressway should not be perceived as a county project, nor should the light rail be perceived as only an RTC project, because it goes beyond that. That's what the RTC board does. We're a regional board, and it's the lack of communication and the lack of good factual information that has caused most of the dynamics and the statements that have been made over the last 60 days. A lot of the opinions have been shallow because we don't have all the information. So this action at the county meeting on Tuesday was not to create a super board or a board that's going to take away the rights of the RTC members. It's to do something differently that hopefully will get more information to more people, and the oversight, whatever we're going to call it, panel, is comprised of those people that specific project impacts mostly. Not to say that it could be 1, 2, 3, or 5, but we're not going to create another layer of bureaucracy. We're not going to ask these professionals to come in and do something beyond the normal study of a project other than to be directly involved in the information sharing. If we all, as member agencies and public work directors and RTC folks, if we perhaps did a better job of communicating these two projects specifically 60, 90, 120 days ago, I don't think we'd be in this situation. But this is, as I said on Tuesday, it's an opportunity to take a deep breath, get everybody back on the same page, and move forward collectively. That's what will be before the board of the RTC next month. And Mary, if any of the board members are uncomfortable, that's when we should really take a look at it. But the perception that this is a county project, that perception and the comments made along those lines are part of the problem. So we'll have it before the board, the full board hopefully, in July, and we can vet it there. It's a different way of doing business. It doesn't take away the primary authority of the RTC, nor the county, nor any of the member agencies. But it's trying to get everybody back on the same page in a far more cooperative and collaborative approach. It's not either or, it's not us versus them. Mr. Gilbert, do you want to break out the Beatles song?
I would, but I
Those Beatle fans out there, there's a song, I Am the Walrus.
Yeah, I read the lyrics today just to be clear.
Mr. Gilbert might do a karaoke, but maybe not.
I'm not sure they're appropriate before 6 o'clock at night.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Greg. Next, Tamara Williams, our Director of Safety and Security, is here to provide you with an update.
Okay, good morning, Chairman and members of the board. As a reminder, the board gave RTC staff direction to review and evaluate security concerns. In 2014, the board approved an increase of approximately $4 million to the overall security budget. As background, the $4 million helped the RTC to add more officers to increase security presence on the routes, increase the number of security response vehicles, and install driver safety enclosures. In addition, the RTC conducted peer reviews of transit agencies, met with operators to obtain feedback, and merged security dispatch with the bus operations center at both yards to enhance better communication and response. RTC staff surveyed 20 transit agencies and received feedback from 8 of those contacted. During the course of our peer review, we found varying models of transit security. Some have strictly transit police, some have contractor security only, others have a hybrid of both. The RTC falls into the category of contract security only. Per NRS 289-150, the RTC does not have the authority to employ transit police force. This is reserved for the dedicated cities, counties, state legal, law enforcement, local government, Supreme Court, Attorney General, and or Secretary of State. Based on national trends, in 2015, the National Transit Database reported a 39% increase in assaults. In 2014, the RTC had 65 assaults with 55 million passengers. In 2015, we had 58 assaults with 56 million passengers. This is an 11% decrease in assaults with a 1.8 increase in boardings. Some other statistics we have gathered in regards to assault show from 2014 to 2015, passenger-on-passenger assaults have decreased over 3%. In 2010, the RTC had 1 security response vehicle. The response time was approximately 1.5 hours. As part of the security enhancement, we added 6 additional rapid response vehicles, which now average a response time of 16 minutes. This has resulted in an 82% decrease in response time. Similar to other transit agencies across the country, the RTC reviewed and evaluated the installation of driver safety enclosures. The RTC visited a transit agency that installed enclosures in 2013, and then in 2014, this agency reported an initial 83% decrease in assaults, and as a result of the installation of these driver safety enclosures. In 2015, the same agency reported a total assault decrease of 99%. It's important to note that their driver safety enclosures were not designed with a window to be open. Notably, the RTC conducted a pilot test of the driver safety enclosure and obtained driver feedback. Based on that feedback, the RTC driver safety enclosures include a window that is able to be opened to allow better driver interactions with passengers. However, the driver safety enclosures are at their optimum safety when the window is closed. Installation of the RTC driver safety enclosures began in November 2015, and all installation will be completed by the end of June 2016. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I would like to turn the next part of the presentation over to our fixed route contractors to discuss safety training, operating procedures, and technology.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm Tim Fournier. I'm the Director of Safety and Security for MV Transportation. Today I'd like to go over the training that MV and Keolis both do with new and existing operators to provide them with the necessary tools to deliver excellent customer service to our passengers and to de-escalate certain situations so they don't result in physical altercations. All new operators go through a 4-hour comprehensive customer service program with conflict resolution and de-escalation training modules as key components of that program. Safety meetings for both MV and Keolis are conducted on a bi-monthly basis with required training in de-escalation, conflict resolution, and customer service refresher training. Also, both MV and Keolis have completed a new violence in the workplace prevention program. This training will be conducted annually. Additionally, both agencies have scheduled guest speakers to provide training on various topics during our safety meetings. My counterpart will now address the standard emergency operating procedures for both contractors.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, my name is Cecil Fielder, Director of Safety Training and Security for Keolis. I would like to take this opportunity to address both contractors' emergency procedures for critical response. During training, all new operators are trained in emergency and critical response procedures. We cover the different types of incidents that they will possibly encounter. We also cover the use of the radio system on the coach, how and when to use the emergency button or priority request to talk button, and related incident management protocols. All coaches are equipped with technology, including a robust camera system with recording capabilities and an emergency covert alarm, commonly known as the panic button. When activated, hidden microphones on the coach are turned on. This allows the radio dispatcher to hear in real time what's occurring on the coach. The call is also placed into at the top of the incident queue. Accordingly, the header sign automatically reads "Call Police." All vehicles are also equipped with GPS tracking. Operators are trained to use this feature in life-threatening situations. This allows us to get a more rapid response to the operators by contacting 911 and coordinating with the security contractor. The priority request to talk button is only used for incidents non-life-threatening in nature, and that would also affect service. Depending on the emergency, Bus Operation Control Center contacts local law enforcement and/or the appropriate emergency response unit, along with security contractor and, respectfully, Keolis or MV supervisor. Operators are encouraged to contact 911 if warranted. This concludes my segment of the presentation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
That concludes our presentation, and we'll be able, open to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. You stay here, gentlemen, just for a sec. Commissioner G.
Thank you. So we have the glass or the windows and the plastic shields. Are they required to have to use those? Not to keep them open or to keep...
It's strongly encouraged and advocated, but it is to the operator's discretion if they want the sliding window back or fully closed.
Perhaps that's something you look at. Secondarily, if somebody escalates, you said you do training and escalation, if, and hopefully it doesn't happen very often, but if a driver does escalate a situation, what do you do disciplinary-wise for both companies?
I can speak for Keolis, and I've met with Tim, my counterpart. There is progressive discipline in place where there is procedures that are violated.
If it's egregious enough, it could also lead to possibly termination of employment as well.
Right, but you got to document it if you don't. And I imagine the
Correct.
CBAs probably cover that. But I would, to me, it protects both the driver as well as any of the customers. But if someone's at fault and management's not doing its job, then I have a problem with that, because then you're allowing something to continue without addressing it, part one. So you do, how do people report if they felt they were talked down to, or somebody was rude to them? What's the process? Because that leads to a safety issue as well. So what do you do customer service-wise to make sure that whoever the riders are know how they can report something?
Well, with the customer service training, we teach them to take the fuel out of the fire, so it doesn't escalate. If they're having a problem with a passenger, then they can contact through the radio dispatch, and we will send a supervisor out there to assist the operator with dealing with the situation.
And what if the rider wants to report something? What's their process? How do they know?
The rider can call into our call center, who will take that complaint and send it to the Safety and Security Department or the relevant
So
department.
is there something posted that says call this number, or is there satisfaction sheets on the, I haven't ridden it in a while, but
I'm not quite sure if it's posted on the buses, but it is on our websites and things like that.
yeah, but if you're riding the bus, so that's
Yeah.
something that I would ask that you take a look at, because people should know they want to report something good that happened as well. I mean, so you want to look at it both ways, but if you don't have an opportunity, or we don't tell them where they can share that information, then there's a gap maybe there in the long run. That's what I had. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Good comments. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And
Thank you, ma'am.
And this concludes our general manager's report. And your next item, Mr. Chairman, is on the agenda is to conduct your first citizens' participation.
This is our first time set aside for public comment. Those wishing to speak to the board on a posted agenda item this morning, now is your opportunity. And we have some cards. Oh, okay. Some of our senior groups obviously here. So could we have Lisa from the Jewish Federation, Marcia from Helping Hands, Jane from Dignity Health? Please come down. Just state your name for the record.
Lisa Popovsky, Jewish Federation of Las Vegas.
Jane Camburn, Dignity Health. Marsha Blake, James C. Strand, Helping Hands of North Las Vegas.
We really wanted to come to thank you today. We all serve senior groups in slightly different capacities, but at the Jewish Federation, the funding that you are awarding us is allowing us to provide transportation to seniors to medical appointments and for shopping, and to come to a congregate meal for our seniors that have no access to socialization or proper nutrition. So we appreciate the funding that you are providing to us this year.
I'm Marsha Blake with Helping Hands of North Las Vegas. I'm also representing Dana Serrata from Helping Hands of Vegas Valley, who couldn't be here this morning. The funding that you're providing us at Helping Hands of North Las Vegas is for a new ADA vehicle. Our current vehicle is over 9 years old and has been in the shop a lot this year, and is actually not an ADA vehicle. So by providing us the opportunity to help purchase an ADA vehicle along with you, we'll be able to provide more wheelchair rides to our seniors in North Las Vegas. And then also funding that you help to provide operating expenses for Helping Hands of Vegas Valley and North Las Vegas. We collaborate, our vehicles run together, and we share staff to ensure that we can transport more seniors throughout the valley by working together. Thank you very much.
And I wish to thank you as well for the citizens of Henderson. I represent Henderson Helping Hands, and the money that you provide us as well helps us to maintain our vehicles and to support the seniors to their medical appointments, to get to their grocery store runs for nutritional value. So thank you again.
Thanks.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Amanda Ship. On behalf of Easter Seals, Nevada, and the people we serve there with disability, I would like to thank the board on their continuing support to meet our transportation needs throughout the Las Vegas Valley. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak to the board during their first public comment period? Just add, I appreciate all, please. On a specific agenda item?
Oh, not on agenda, just public.
We'll save the best for last. I know you'll stay with us. But I did want to, not only for the 4 groups that came down and put comments on the record, but on our agenda today, there's some additional partners out there, and don't get the credit that they deserve, but without these organizations to help us, especially with our transportation needs, assisting our seniors, we would be unable to come close to serving our population. They are truly community heroes, not only those that appeared today, the leadership at these organizations, but as importantly, their drivers, their volunteers. They are ambassadors to our senior community and faces and voices that in some cases are the only voices seniors get to hear and see. So on behalf of the board, and they're throughout the community, we certainly thank you, and it's a pleasure for the RTC to be able to partner with you. Just keep doing the great work that you're doing. We'll close this portion of public comment.
Mr. Chairman, the next item is to approve the consent agenda, which consists of 5 through 59, of course, with the exception of agenda item 14.
Motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And the next item on the agenda is to receive a report on Southern Nevada Strong and the Las Vegas Medical District Opportunity Site. Mr. Raymond Hess, Director of Planning Services for the RTC, will provide an introduction.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Raymond Hess, RTC staff. Before we get into the presentation, I did want to just make one quick announcement so that you're aware. I'm very excited to introduce to you Ms. Ray Lathrop. She's our new regional planning manager that's going to be overseeing Southern Nevada Strong. So she's hiding way in the back. She's trying to avoid attention, but
no, she doesn't wave. Have her stand up.
And bow. And
stand up and have the cameras pan. Raymond, should we bring her down and force her to introduce herself on the record?
That would be spectacular.
That's up to you. Please, come on down and we need some good news.
Yeah, and so we were very fortunate. We poached her from outside Las Vegas Foundation. She worked with Mauricia Baca, is very well connected with the nonprofit organizations in the community, and is already starting to kind of ask the right questions and get us moving in the right direction. So we're very excited to have her on staff.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Pull right up to that microphone, introduce yourself, and say a few words.
Hi, my name is Ray Lathrop. I actually know many of you in my previous positions and volunteer roles here in Southern Nevada. I'm very excited to join the Southern Nevada Strong team. We're actually very excited this week to be building a team of 3 additional staff members, including myself, and starting to work within the community on making sure that Southern Nevada Strong is implemented, which is really exciting work here to do with RTC.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And one of the things that we saw in Ray that we're looking for in all of our candidates is passion about Southern Nevada Strong. We know many of you have passion about this project, especially Councilwoman Deborah March, who isn't here, and we want to make sure we get the right team to really advance this moving forward, because it's a heavy lift, and we need to make sure people are committed to it. So Ray has that drive, so we're excited about it.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, with that, I'd like to introduce Ms. Shani Coleman. She is the Redevelopment Manager at the City of Las Vegas's Economic and Urban Development Department. She's going to give you a brief overview of what's happening in the Las Vegas Medical District. Just as a reminder, there are 4 opportunity sites identified in the Southern Nevada Strong Regional Plan. Those are Maryland Parkway, the Las Vegas Medical District, downtown North Las Vegas, and Boulder Highway at Broadbent and Gibson. And implementation of the opportunity sites is one of the priorities identified in the Southern Nevada Strong Regional Plan. So you remember about a quarter ago we brought Clark County up to talk about what's happening on Maryland Parkway, and we're going to rotate quarterly and give you updates on some of the exciting things that are happening on those opportunity sites. So, Ms. Coleman.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. For the record, Shani Coleman, Redevelopment Manager for the City of Las Vegas. Very excited to be here today to bring you up to speed and talk to you a little bit about the accomplishments in the Las Vegas Medical District. I want to start by talking about the mission of the Las Vegas Medical District. This has been a guiding principle for some of the decisions that were made, but basically what we've identified is by 2030, the Las Vegas Medical District will be the clinical care, research, wellness, education, training center of Southern Nevada and the premier academic medical district in the southwestern United States. A lot of this was preempted by what Southern Nevada Strong did. We work very closely as the City of Las Vegas. As Raymond mentioned, Las Vegas Medical District is one of the opportunity sites. And out of the Southern Nevada Strong, there were 9 items that were identified, action items for the Las Vegas Medical District. And as you can see them here, they vary from parking management, placemaking, branding, security, establishing leadership. And so what I want to talk to you about today are some of those accomplishments that we've already made and what we look to do moving forward. So some of the achievements one of the achievements is leadership. About two years ago, we established the Las Vegas Medical District Advisory Council, and that advisory council is comprised of heads of Valley Hospital, UMC, UNLV, NSHE. We have Desert Radiologists, we have Steinberg Diagnostics, Cleveland Clinic. We also have participation from the Convention Authority. But this is an opportunity for the community to be involved in the conversation about what we're doing and how we're developing the Las Vegas Medical District. So we meet on a monthly basis. We talk about various things that are going on in the district. They provide us guidance with direction on development and how they want to see the medical district moving forward. Placemaking. One of the things that we did not too long ago is the City of Las Vegas adopted the Las Vegas Medical District Master Plan, December of 2015. And if you look at the map here, the area that you see in yellow was the original Las Vegas Medical District. It was 214 acres. With the adoption of the Las Vegas Medical District Master Plan, we actually expanded the district to about 684 acres. The City of Las Vegas has the City of Las Vegas has invested about $36 million in infrastructure improvements in the Las Vegas Medical District. That's all the way up to 2017. And then we're looking at an additional $97 million moving beyond 2017 once we find funding for that. Some of the things that we've done is we've identified open spaces. With Project Neon coming in, MLK is going to be realigned. There's a street in the district called Bearden. We see that as a new gateway to the medical district, and we're actually going to place a pocket park at that corner. For the opportunity for development along Charleston Boulevard, there's what we call a commercial overlay district that limits the height of development to 1 story. We've actually worked with the community, and we're increasing that height limit between Rancho and MLK to the tallest building which is there, which is 1701 East Charleston, and that would increase the ability to develop up to 88 feet along that corridor. Planning, as I mentioned, the City of Las Vegas hired and invested with the Smith Group, a consultant that helped us develop the Las Vegas Medical District Master Plan. What you're seeing there is an illustrative compilation of what all of that looks like. Currently, right now in the Las Vegas Medical District, we have about 7 million square feet of rentable space. That includes office, education facilities, retail facilities. What our master plan looks to do is increase that number to about 19 million square feet. And the way we do that is through densifying. We take away surface parking lots, we build parking structures. So all of this is incorporated in the plan. An important piece that was identified by Southern Nevada Strong and also by the City of Las Vegas is mobility. And some of the things that we're looking to add are a circulator. Now, the circulator is not specific to the medical district, but the medical district is incorporated in that. And what you see there is a map that kind of outlines the preliminary route of that district. So it comes through downtown, and it comes up Bonneville, through Shadow Lane, back down Charleston, and it creates this loop. If you were to write it as it stands right now, it would probably take about 18 minutes to do the complete route. This circulator will be free of charge, and we think it's something that is important to help move people in and throughout downtown in the Las Vegas Medical District. One of the things also identified was branding. We started this process very early on. As you can see there, the green and blue logo, that was something that was a collaborative effort with our partners in the medical district. We wanted to create an opportunity for everybody in Southern Nevada to understand what the Las Vegas Medical District is. So we developed the brand, we developed the logo, we developed brand guidelines, and in addition to that, we recently launched at the beginning of this year the Las Vegas Medical District website as a hub where people in the community and outside of the community can go and gather information about the Las Vegas Medical District. So there's maps up there, there's information about the master plan, there's information about our partners. It's just a central place where people can go and learn about the medical district. It also serves as a hub for our bi-monthly newsletter. So we put out a newsletter every month. People can go to the website here to sign up to get that information. So some of our future next steps, everybody's excited and everybody knows about the UNLV School of Medicine, so we're looking forward to the development of that education building. We're incorporating the Las Vegas Medical District into the City of Las Vegas Downtown Master Plan. So where traditionally the medical district hasn't been a part of downtown, what we're saying now is our medical district is a part of downtown and we're incorporating that. We're looking at land assemblage, the possibility of building parking structures. Obviously, we'd love to see some light rail, public art, open space, regulatory and zoning changes, and then more infrastructure improvements, as I mentioned before. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions about the medical district.
Thank you. Comments or questions from the board? Commissioner G?
Thank you, good job. The 36 million, where did that revenue source come from?
A lot of it was through Public Works, so we're doing a lot of infrastructure changes along Shadow Lane right now. That's the most recent one that's underway. We're looking at doing some roadwork projects on Charleston, also some roadwork projects on Alta. That includes the investment we made in the consultant to develop the master plan. That includes the marketing and branding efforts that we've done. So that 36 million is cumulative of all of those things.
Okay, and then you said that's good through 2017, and then you'll have to look at where to secure additional revenue?
Correct.
Now, I believe the city amended their redevelopment area to include this. Is that correct? And is there funding then that comes in through
So
that?
the core area of the district, what you see in yellow, was recently added in December to the Las Vegas, to the redevelopment area.
Yeah.
So that provides opportunity to use redevelopment tools for development. So now the core area will have access to tax increment financing, our visual improvement program, our business assistance programs, things of that nature. And because it's in a redevelopment area, we also may have ability, depending on the scope and size of the project, like for the school, to do special bond financing.
And the tax increment financing, there's no plan for any casinos or anything along that line located within the medical district?
We have no plans for a casino in the medical district.
And I would just like to add that really we restrict quite a
What
bit
you
there
use.
in that
Yeah.
medical district.
It's Councilwoman's area, the medical district, and then I overlay her, but she's my boss on that part of it, so, which I always appreciate. And I was surprised that you were able to get the neighborhoods to support the height increase, because that was a big battle back in the day. So it's from Rancho to MLK that you're going to allow some addition, because that will help with your parking structures and other things that need to come into that corridor.
That was actually a compromise. We had several neighborhood meetings, and originally we were looking at increasing the height between Valley View and MLK.
Right.
And the neighbors in the area between Valley View and Rancho were very concerned about the growth of development in their area. They liked their quaint little neighborhoods.
Right.
And so the compromise was that we looked at what was
forward.
already happening in the area between MLK and Rancho. There's already taller buildings.
Correct.
So we said, okay, in this area, we would go as high as the existing building, and that current height is 88 feet.
Okay, and then keep it, is it two-story, I think they limited it to the old neighborhood back in the day?
It's
on the
actually
valley?
one story.
Is it only one story?
Yes,
I
it
couldn't
is.
remember, okay.
Yeah.
All
But-
right,
but
and then you're
I
not.
just wanted to say, Chris, you're very right. It was a battle.
I'm sure it
But
was.
they all came together because you have to look at the economics of it
Correct,
and everything.
and it benefits them, but doesn't negatively impact that section, so that's a good thing in the long run. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman?
I was just going to say that we've been working on this for a long, long time. How many years have we had our advisory committee? 3.5?
Not quite that long. We started in the beginning of 2014.
2014.
We started talking about it and having conversations. It took, because this is a new model, this is something that hasn't been seen in Las Vegas before. So it took some convincing, because you have a lot of private entities and everybody has their own business, to convince them to understand that bringing everybody together, having everybody work together actually benefits the group, instead of just looking at what somebody individually is doing. And because of that, the city of Las Vegas, we did our master plan. UMC is now hiring the same consultant that we use to do a master plan for their facility, so it actually ties into the bigger plan that the city of Las Vegas put together. So we're very excited about that.
I was just going to say, Chris, I think the fact that we had a lot of meetings, maybe even before we had a formal advisory committee, but we, for at least 3 years, have been having meetings there and bringing everybody in, because there were a lot of different feelings. And you're very right. That is a unique area. They've kept that residential, sort of rural feeling, being so close to the Strip, and they've done it by watching out carefully. And so we just blended it all. And we're very excited that we'll be able to help. We feel this will be very helpful to UMC also. And I just want to say, Shawnee has done a magnificent job in keeping us going and organized with our committee. So thank you, too.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, the next item on the agenda is to receive a presentation on the July 1st, 2016 increase in fuel taxes. Mark Trosdahl, Director of Finance, will now present to you.
Thank you, MJ. Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, the fuel tax indexing statutes require that before an adjustment is made to the fuel tax rates in Clark County, the Regional Transportation Commission review at a public meeting the amount of the upcoming adjustment, the history of past adjustments, and what has been done with revenue collected. The next PPI index adjustment is July 1 of 2016. We have a slideshow to go through this requirement. As of March 31, 2016, we have 140 design and construction contracts that have been awarded, 75 to local small businesses. for a total of $338 million awarded in FRI funding that will create approximately 4,368 jobs. Out of those awards, through May 30th of this year, we have actually paid $247.5 million in investing in road work. There is a detailed list of projects in your backup that reports this accomplishment. This chart shows us that for calendar year 15, the producer price index was negative 5.6%, as shown in the dip in the blue line over year 15. This reduced the 10-year rolling average PPI to 3.43% from 5.25% in fiscal year 14. And that is the yellow line taking the dip there. This next chart shows us that on July 1 of 16, the 10-cent cap is reached. And due to the 10-cent cap, the percentage increase in the fuel tax rate is 0.5% instead of the 3.43% rolling 10-year average that we showed on the previous slide. This next chart is a little busy, but it does show us what we have actually collected. In fiscal year 14, we collected approximately $13 million in index fuel tax revenue, and in fiscal year 15, we collected $53 million. We are projecting to collect $77 million for fiscal 16 and $79 million for fiscal year 17. And those are my prepared remarks. I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Comments or questions from the board? Thank you, Mark. One question. You mentioned in our backup we have the project list. Is that available on our website?
There are several project lists on the website. That one in particular, I don't know if it's there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on our website.
Could you identify yourself for the record?
Fred O'Heaney with RTC.
Thank you. I think it's important. Much of the feedback that at least I've received from the FRI initiative has been people able to see specifically in their neighborhood or their general area the commitments we made a few years ago as far as these are the projects we're targeting. And, you know, at times we've got the feedback on the orange cones, but as these projects are completed, there's a sense of credibility and accountability that's given to the RTC. And the more we can push those lists out, I think the better off we are. People, their confidence level rises in not only the RTC, but the member agencies when they can see that we've made commitments on the front end. This is what we'll do. They're completed, and that helps so much.
Okay, great. The next item on the agenda is your final citizens' participation.
Second time set aside for citizens' participation. Those wishing to speak to the board, now is your opportunity. I do not have any cards. We mentioned we're going to save the best for last.
Hi, good morning. I'm sorry. I
Pull-
always give the cards to you.
Pull that mic down just a little bit. Perfect.
Hi, good morning. For the record, my name is Patricia Panisi. I'm a very happy paratransit rider, and I have a compliment. I don't know if they're here today. Dan Howland from the paratransit side and Eileen Magnano from the RTC side. Thursday, April 21st, after a regular day of work, they attended a Veterans Council meeting, and they were there from 6 to 9 p.m. explaining programs, options, transportation options for our veterans, and then people who were there who were not veterans, just members of the public. They also explained transportation options for them as well. So I think that is really, really just very kind, and one more way in which RTC reaches out into the community as an organization, as individuals, and they just don't receive any RJ credit or any other entity, whatever magazines are in Vegas. You just don't get enough credit for the good that you do. Not only am I a happy, satisfied writer, but you meet my needs in terms of what I want to see in my community. Where do I want to live? How do I want to live? You meet my needs by these gestures, so thank you for that.
Thank you. And likewise, if we go onto our website, do we have an area that our veterans can go to as far as options that we're engaged in?
We do include on our website all of our options, whether it's with our nonprofit partners or just the service we provide.
Great. Anyone else wishing to speak to the board? Seeing and hearing no one, thank you for being here this morning. This meeting is adjourned.